Welcome back. Thank you for joining us on Something to Talk About. My guest tonight, Lynn Knight, traveling all the way to Saipan from the safety of her home, which is now on the East Coast. Are you actually living in D.C. or Virginia?
I live in Northern Virginia.
Northern Virginia, to go back to respond to your home having been damaged by Sodalor. What happened when you pulled up to your driveway up on landing in Saipan? What was that like?
Well, the house was empty. My tenant took off. You know, the house is unlivable right now, but so I drove up to
That's
it by myself.
That's a beautiful home. I mean, it's a huge,
you.
beautiful home. Yeah.
Yeah, it's up on the hill, and it took pretty heavy winds. The landscaping is all destroyed. The trees down. You couldn't walk up the walkway because there's a giant tree trunk in the way. Inside, I found shattered glass in the master bedroom from the sliding glass door blew out, and then the front door, which is a double door, blew right off the hinges.
Oh boy.
So the front door is broken, and the ceilings came down in 3 rooms.
Those are drop ceilings, though.
Drop
Those are,
ceilings.
okay, that's not the actual
roof was
line.
okay, but
Yeah.
water got into the drop ceiling through the
cracks or whatever.
Yeah, I had skylights. Those blew out first, and then it all was a chain reaction of the air and water getting in.
And they were in the house at the time?
They were in the house. The husband got hurt. He had to have some stitches from the glass, but what seemed the most dangerous to me was there was a middle bedroom that they were in, the wife and kids were in, and this whole ceiling fell down.
Oh, gosh.
The door was ajar, and the ceiling got impaled on the door, and that prevented them from getting crushed by the ceiling.
Oh my gosh. And are they ever going to come back?
Yeah, they're going to come back.
Yeah.
But I had to, I wanted to clean up for them.
Yeah, you have a lot of... Is there a concern about from homeowners? I was looking at one photo on Facebook of a family, a husband and wife, who refuses to leave because they're worried about theft. They're worried about vandalism. Is that a concern, private property owners?
Well, sure. The doors have to be repaired, and there's no one staying there right now, but, we cleaned it up. They got all their valuables out of the house and got them to another friend's house before they left, and we're going to have a contractor there shortly, repairing everything.
Yeah, it's a lot of work. It's just a lot of work to recover. And because you were going back to your old stomping grounds, and you have some, pretty influential friends in Saipan. Did you get an opportunity to sit and talk to some of your old buddies?
I sure did. I saw Governor Enos. I saw Senator Sixto Egasomar, who's, he's got a background in economic development, and he wanted to talk about, how to pick up the economy. I gave them both a copy of a publication I just finished called Leadership in Times of Crisis. How to make a more resilient economy and recover after a crisis. And by the way, I want to let you know that publication is available free online if anybody wants to look at it. We have a website called restoreyoureconomy.org, and that publication is right on the home page. It's a toolkit, and it talks about how to work with the federal government, how to do an economic evaluation, how to help small businesses after a disaster, how to help tourism and let the world know that you're back open for business.
That's the thing, letting the world know you're back open, because right now Saipan's just getting a lot of attention that they're closed for business.
Yeah.
The airport is still closed in the evenings. They don't have all the runway lights.
During the dark hours,
So it's only flights during the day. I'm assuming there are no tourists going there at all, and whatever's left
No,
out
there were
gone?
tourists there, and there's a lot of tourists walking around. They're shopping. A lot of the tours are open, just like they would be. The golf courses are fine.
Oh, okay.
The tour that there's a new company that takes tours up Mount Tapachao, riding on ATVs. That's open. So there's stuff for them to do, but of course the island isn't as pretty as it usually is.
Yeah.
Outside the resorts.
So there's tourism is just it's not stagnant. It's just not probably
there were
full speed ahead.
7,000 cancellations immediately. So translate that out. It's a lot of money.
Yeah. How were the hotels?
Initially I heard a report that some of them were, had some problems, but they're all back up again as far as I know, and they're packed. Locals are there. off-island personnel, FEMA. I know the Guam Power Authority also sent some people up there, and so the hotels are packed, the bars are packed at night.
Well, of course.
Oh my gosh, I went out for drinks last night with some friends, and it was every seat
Wow.
taken by people there.
What about the grocery stores and that sort of thing? It's just the ones that have generators are the only ones that are surviving right now?
Well, even the ones that don't have generators, the doors are open, it's dark, and it's kind of.
But the major
so nice,
markets
but-
and that sort of thing,
yeah.
people are able to go and buy food and all of that stuff. So
Yeah, the container ship came in on Monday and stocked everything. You know, given, you know, I arrived on Saturday and everything looked so bad and so bleak, it was really depressing. But by yesterday, things were, you know, every day I could see more things opening, more power poles being fixed, you know, people on the power poles stringing the lines. It's happening. You know, there's military vehicles going around. There's, you know, lots of people just out cleaning up. Families helping other families, organizations getting schools back together. Athletes were down on the ball fields picking up, you know, debris. It's happening.
is it when you see this, you know, stuff in Saipan, does it make you sort of miss it? I mean, home for 23 years.
Oh, sure.
You're an island girl, I think, by the definition, but I'm sure a lot of people define you as an island girl. You know, how much, first of all, how much do you bring of Saipan back to where you are and the work that you do?
Well, you know, you can take the girl out of the islands, but can't take the islands out of the girl after more than 2 decades. But I don't know. These islands, and not just Saipan, but I worked in Guam too. And, you know, I think about American Samoa. I've now done some work in Puerto Rico. And certainly I've done work in Micronesia. I'm always trying to think of ways to connect my current work back here. You know, how can I use what I know now about economic development and all the resources we have to help these islands, which are so vulnerable, and the economies can get devastated very easily. So I'm exploring some ways to maybe bring some services here, bring some training, bring some economic developers that might like to volunteer their time to help the small businesses, for example. I'm exploring some things. So yesterday I had a meeting with the Commonwealth Development Authority. Today I'm going to have a meeting with the Guam GIDA and see if there's something that we can do together.
And so your company would be equipped to at least do what from the beginning?
Well, it's not a company. It's actually
You're a nonprofit.
Yeah, it's a development association,
Okay, so-
and it's all about training economic developers and helping them with mentoring from others and, you know, bringing best practices. So, you know, we have a world of case studies in how to recover after disasters. What are the key things you have to do? And we can bring volunteer economic developers here to help guide them through and make it happen, implement.
Yeah.
So we can do that.
And are
We
there
can also
open-
do training. We have 13 training courses, including one that we're developing now on the role of elected and appointed officials in economic development. You know, what is their role? What should they be doing? What should they avoid, and how can they help the people at GIDA and CDA do a better job?
So now that you've been here, had a little whiff of the home, and you got to go back to reality, I know that you've been working to try to pull things together to see how you could most benefit this region. Have you thought about ever moving back, though? Has it ever been part of the...
You know, my daughters are entering college, and I really need to be closer to them.
Yeah.
And I did so many things here. I feel like, you know, for me as a person to continue to grow and learn, I needed to go to a place where I could continue my career.
Yeah.
And now I'm working on the national level, and it's really, you know, I can see communities all over doing, you know, different things, and it's really enjoyable. I like it.
But it's been nice to come back here, even if it was for just that.
And my suitcase is full of apagigi and, you know, mochi and things that my kids love here.
Well, it's always it's unfortunate that you had to come, but it's always nice when you sweep through, and it really is. Lynn really literally sweeps through here, but it's always nice when you do. We always at least try to have a moment with you on the radio, which is always good. But this time around, how long are you going to be here? What's the plan?
Well, I would have had another day in Saipan, but because the flight's being canceled, I have to go back tomorrow. I've got a project in Mississippi that I have to be back for.
Yeah.
So they got hit by a number of hurricanes along the coast, and they haven't been able to recover. So we're going to go down there and work on that.
Got to bring in the big guns. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm taking 5 economic developers there on Monday to mentor a county that is kind of struggling.
Yeah.
So that'll be interesting.
Well, you're helping people some way or another. I hope the house is going to be back in shape so we can go and spend some time in it.
Yeah,
Never when you can get your tenant back in there. And
it'll happen.
Yeah, well, that's good. You're always hopeful.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. Thank you, my friend. Bring it in.
Thanks,
Bring it in. Bring it in. All right. And that's it for us. Lynn Knight, a soldier for sure. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you on the radio.